Yes, the money you spend on whiskeys in 2025 are gonna go up. What does that mean? I'll let you know in just a second. So I've been working in the financial industry for over 20 years. I'm also a CMA, or a certified management accountant. So I took the last several weeks, heard all the bad news, took all the facts, and analyzed and studied them so I could let you know my predictions for 2025 for the bourbon industry. Also, I made a very similar video last year predicting what's going to happen in 2024. Were my predictions right or wrong? Find out right now. Okay. Oh yeah. Welcome to Whiskmake. My name is David. We all heard the bad news about the bourbon industry, right? Let's go over some real quick. MGP, or Ross and Squibb, they're cutting back production in 2025, and their CEO stepped down because, well, things weren't going well. The stock prices of some of the American spirits companies have reached the lowest they have in years. And Brown-Forman, the parent company of Old Forester and Jack Daniels, laid off 12% of their global workforce or their employees, and they had to sell off their coopers to save a little bit of costs. These are all bad news. But 2024 was not all doom and gloom. There were some good news. So first, yes, everyone talks about the fact that in 2024, bourbon sales decreased by like 1% compared to 2023. 1%. You know how much bourbon sales increased the last 5 years since 2019? 35%. It went from $4 billion industry to 5.3. And yes, it did fall off slightly, but it's like saying, you know what? I got a 35% increase in my pay, and last year it dipped down 1%. I'm gonna die. No, you're not. Bourbon industry is still very healthy. And second, according to LaneReport.com, global sales or exports of American whiskeys increased 15% in 2024 over 2023. That means they got basically a 15% increase for all the sales that they did outside the US, which is a very significant amount. Also, in the same report, premium or high-end American whiskeys, basically that's either high-aged or high-priced, those sales went up 18%. So yes, maybe sales decreased, but the margins on those sales might have increased. And the last one, tariffs. Whoa, that's bad news. American, like Jack Daniels and all that stuff, they're saying that tariffs are gonna kill them. And yes, in the short term, it might hurt them a little bit, but let me play devil's advocate here on why tariffs might be a good thing. Yes, the sales of Jack Daniels or Jim Beam White Label or whatever we export will go down in the short term. But you think America is just gonna be like, they're gonna put tariffs on our whiskeys and we're just gonna sit still and do nothing? No, we're not. We're gonna put tariffs on all the things that we buy. The European wine, Scotch, single malts, Canadian wine and spirits, Mexico, right? With their tequila and their spirits, they're gonna get tariffs as well. So the cost of those in the US will go up. So what does that mean? Well, think about it. Your local tequila lover or your Scotch lover or the single malt lover, they're gonna be like, wow, the prices of my tequila just went up 20%, 30%. Maybe I'll buy that Buffalo Trace. Maybe I'll try to find a Weller because those are so high. The single malts, if they go up another 20, 30%, a lot of them are gonna convert to bourbon, which is already a little bit less expensive. So maybe in the short term, tariffs might be a bad thing, but in the long term, if there's a trade war, domestic sales of American whiskeys might actually go up. So with the good news and the bad news, what are my predictions for 2025? Well, before we get there, let's see how I did for my 2024 predictions in this video. So first prediction I made, and this one was kind of an easy one, right? A layup, that limited editions or special releases will only ramp up. And let's be honest, it really ramped up in 2024, right? The Russell's Reserve 15 and Jack Daniel's Cold Hill and their special releases and everything else. It seems like there was limited editions of limited editions, right? Little Book Infinite coming from the Little Book chapters. Booker's Reserve coming from the regular Booker's that's already limited. So that one, again, was a layup, but at least I made the layup. Second prediction I made, that international opportunities or exports will only increase. Well, like I already said, LaneReport.com reported that exports increased 15% in 2024. So again, Kobe. And the third prediction I made, well, I believe I was half right and half wrong on this one. I said that overall prices would decrease, but the price of allocated or special release bottles would not decrease. It would just stay the same. Well, luckily for us, the prices of everything kind of decreased, right? The prices of regular bottle shelves really did come down. You see a lot of sales these days, a lot of markdowns, or even for prices like the Jack Daniel's single barrel proofs or Knob Creek 12 used to be $60, $65, $70. Now we regularly see them for $50, $55 in my area. And yes, some special release and allocated bottles did go up, obviously, but a lot of them did decrease. I mean, I never thought I would see a blend straight from the barrel sitting on the shelf for $230. Now, you say that's expensive, I agree, but those used to be $300, $350, and they would be sold within seconds. So the fact that those are not only coming down on price, but they're also sitting on the shelves, well, that's good news. And we're not even talking about the Eagle Rares or the Blatons or the Amartilis or anything else that used to be basically non-existent, now on the shelves at reasonable prices for the most part. So let's move on to what you guys all came here to see, my predictions for 2025. My first prediction, a lot of whiskey brands will fail and disappear in 2025. And that's going to be a good thing for bourbon. Whoa, why is that a good thing for bourbon? Well, let's be honest. I want more companies that makes great whiskeys at a good price, right? There's a lot of newer distilleries that doing it right. Green River being one of them, New Riff being another. Penelope has been really doing well with their prices and their whiskeys, and I want those brands to do well. The last thing I need to do is what happened in 2022 or 2023. Buy this brand new distillery I've never seen. It's like new hot one. It's like $100 for like a 6-year-old whiskey, but I'm like, if I come back tomorrow, it's gonna be gone. So I buy it, I drink it, and I hate it. And that's not what you want for anybody, especially with all these whiskeys being now 70, 80, like $100, right? So these distilleries that make either overpriced whiskeys or even bad whiskeys need to disappear. I mean, I'm just gonna call out a few. Nulu, I got burned by you twice. I'm never gonna buy another bottle of yours again. Bought 2 for $100 and they were just mediocre at best. Old Elk, you guys sold really expensive whiskeys, right? Their Infinity Blend was like $150 when it came out. The Cigar Cut was like $130, and everything they made was like over $100. And let's be honest, their whiskeys, $50 at the most. And now they're sitting on the shelves for sale because people have found out that it's not that good. My second prediction, limited editions, especially with high age statements, will only go up. I mean, people saw the success of Russell's Reserve 15 last year and even the Jack Daniel's 14-year this year. People are going crazy for it. Even for an instance, Old Forester 1924, they're 10-year-old. The reviews last year were not that great, right? People are like, oh, it's overpriced, not worth $130. They come up with a new batch this year and you know what? It sells out. Now, I heard the new batch is better, but it sold out before all these people could do the review or anything like that. So high age statements, special releases will only go up, right? I already mentioned the limited editions of limited editions like Little Book Infinite and Booker's Reserve. And one of my, I guess, off the cuff or really crazy prediction is that Elijah Craig Barrel Proof will have a special release. Basically a special release in addition to their usual A, B, C batches. I have no insider information, but they probably saw the success of the Little Book Infinite and the Booker's Reserve. And think about it. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, special release, D1225, coming in at 14 years, 2 months, and 139.2 proof. And it's for $200. Would you buy it? You would line up to buy it. I would line up to buy it, for goodness sakes. That would cause crazy amounts of hype for the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof again. Do I know what's gonna happen? I have no idea. Of course, I don't think it might not happen. It probably won't happen. But could it happen? It could happen. I'm gonna take a small break to ask you for one favor. If you're enjoying this content, please push that like button. It really makes me fuzzy inside. I don't even know what that means. And my Patreon YouTube members, thank you so much. I'm actually really excited that my Fort Knox tier and my Patreon are now full, which is really a blessing to me. So to celebrate, I have chosen one member of the Patreon members in the other tiers and one person from the YouTube membership to receive a sample pack. And so congratulations, you guys. I haven't picked it yet, so whoever's on the screen, congratulations. Get in contact with me at my email right here and let's get together so I can hand you off some great whiskeys. My third prediction, globally, bourbon interest will only go up. Globally, bourbon is really a non-factor in especially the premium whiskey world. People still look at the single malt Scotch and now the Japanese whiskeys as the premium of the whiskeys, right? People still love the Hibiki 17s, the Yamazaki 18s, right? Macallan 20 somethings. Those sell and people collect those. But bourbon is kind of non-existent in that realm. Imagine if people in China or India and Brazil, these emerging markets now with a lot of money, get into Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, the Pappies, right? Those would go crazy for them. And not only that, remember, the American interest in Weller lineup did not start until people really wanted a Pappy. And the next best thing they could get is the Weller lineup. So if Pappies get popular over there, and then Wellers get popular, and then Buffalo Trace and Blanton's and all that good stuff, that would be a huge increase of demand for bourbons globally. And that's one of the ways that bourbons can expand, and they're going to try. Because you know why? Bourbon market in the US is kind of coming down, or it's kind of stabilized. So in order to grow, they got to go internationally, and I guarantee you they will do that. And my last prediction for 2025, this is what I said in the beginning of the video. Your spending on bourbon in 2025 will only go up. Now, that doesn't mean the price overall is going to go up, right? I don't think your Rare Breeze or Jack Daniels or anything else that you buy that's $50, $60 as a shelf ready item are going to go up. But people are buying less bottles. So people think they're going to spend less money. That's the wrong way of thinking. If people are waiting for the next special edition or the next limited release to buy their bottles, they're going to spend a lot of money. When's the last time you saw a limited edition or special edition that was less than like $150? Or at least the ones that you want, at least the ones that you really, really wanted, right? Bardstown Discovery 12, $150 and sold out in seconds, right? Baumburger's PFD that just came out, $150, you'll be lucky to see it at that price. Again, Jack Daniel's 14, $150 MSRP. Yeah, have you seen it for $150? People can't wait to buy it at $300 or $400. And so with all this stuff that people want, you're gonna buy a bottle and that one or two bottles now gonna be $150, $200 instead of you buying 3 or 4 bottles that was $50 or $60. So yes, your bottle count might go down in terms of buying, but the money you spend on bottles are actually gonna go up. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I guess it's a good thing. Well, let me know in the comments. What do you think will happen in 2025? What do you think about my predictions? Do you think they're crazy or do you think they're just right? Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.